Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. 4 topics for this video. The first one, the disintegration of the Dutch government. The far-right party, which was in a coalition governing body, decided to withdraw. That means the government collapsed as of now. Second topic, and we're going to discuss why. And that has to do, I would say, with the problem with the coalition governments. Second, we're going to talk about the elections in Poland, where we have a new president, supposedly a conservative historian. And he's going to follow the same old rule, which is the boss says, I do. The third topic is Serbia. The president of Serbia, Mr. Vučić, claims that state institutions were involved in an attempted coup. These guys really need badly a coup d'etat in Serbia so they can incorporate Serbia into their Lebensraum, and that is European Union I'm talking about. And the last topic, Romania continues to be what it is, a servant country to whomever pays more. Will continue its support to Ukraine. The president of Romania, elect president of Romania, I would say a servant of friends and others, Mr. Nicuşor Dan, says so. So, all right, go. Maybe the Russians will send you a few oreshniks to remind you that you are imbeciles. All right, let's start with the first article coming from CNN. Dutch government collapses as Wilders' far-right party leaves coalition. Here is Mr. Wilders, Geert Wilders. The far-right Party of Freedom is leaving the Netherlands government over its policy for asylum seekers. Its leader Geert Wilders said on Tuesday, toppling the government coalition. And I'm quoting, I signed up for the strictest asylum policy, not for the downfall of the Netherlands, Wilders told reporters Tuesday morning. And I'm quoting again, and our responsibility for this cabinet therefore ends here. All right, so what happened? The problem is when you go in a coalition government, and my bad guy over there I featured that in one of my videos, in the Orange book, said that a long time ago. He said coalition governments, and he was right, are not good, because how can you negotiate through one party that goes left with another party going right? You put them together. People did not vote to have a mishmash, and the mishmash is going to be like this. Let's say the conservatives are going to appoint the defense minister, and then the other ones, the guys on the left, will appoint the education minister. Do you understand that the policies are opposite? What is that? Well, you want to make the country feeling better? Then have one party system and one leader then. So the same here. It was expected that Wilders eventually will break away from this coalition government, because people vote for your political program, not for the other one. Otherwise they would vote for that one. Who likes that goes over there, who likes this goes over here. So yeah, I think Netherlands can try, but is lost. Why? Their education department was owned for too many years. And that is, your children who are adults now have been indoctrinated with some ideologies. You can say, oh my God, what's going on here in the Netherlands? Too late. They have more children than you. So you can do whatever. You can stop it right now. They will outbreed you. That's one thing. Is it bad? Well, I think that my family should have this house. I think your family should have that house. I don't think we should, but it's only this way. You come to my house, but I don't come to your house. Yes. I know how some idiots might think, hey, Emil, are you talking? We're talking about the United States of America here. We don't talk about the nation state of, let's say, the Netherlands or France or Romania. All right, this is a anomaly. There's like 4 countries on this planet, actually 4 countries that are an anomaly on this planet. And that is, first, United States of America, second, Canada, third, New Zealand, fourth Australia. These are the countries that, oh my God, built and by we know who did it in the first place. Nevertheless, move on. I like Geert Wilders, just so you know. If you have any doubts that I don't like him, I like him very much, actually. I've been watching him for the past 20 years. So when he won, when his party won a majority, the biggest party in the Netherlands, I was, oh my God, finally he might save Netherlands. But hey, the forces over there won't allow him to do so. So they didn't want him to be the prime minister anyway. So let's go to this article from Russia Today. Dutch government collapses over immigration dispute. Right-wing leader Geert Wilders has said his party will exit the ruling coalition after his proposed overhaul of policy was rejected. Okay, next one. Poland's new president backs Ukraine but stresses historical disputes. So he says, yeah, I continue the same thing, not because this isn't, how should I put it? Certain policies, state policies, will not change, obviously, regardless who the president is or the prime minister. Those are national interests. I understand that. But there are certain things that should change at one point when you say, well, this is not a national interest issue. So supporting or backing Ukraine is not a national interest. They want to make it that way. Like every president from now on should back Ukraine. No, it's not like that. There are other national interests, but not that. So this is imposed by outside forces. And unfortunately, you can tell who's owned or who follows the policy line when he gets elected. When he say, I'm going to continue with supporting Ukraine, it's clear. There's not national interest. There's something else. And if the guy says that, I already know on whose side he is. Not on Poland's. Not on he risks Poland's existence again, I think. But what do I know? And then he says, stresses historical disputes. He's talking about the Volyn massacre and so on. Why? Because I think he's an historian. But guess what? Here, Polish president-elect on Russia's wanted list. What are we going to do now? So Moscow has accused Karol Nawroć of playing a role in destroying Soviet war memorials. So here you have a wanted list guy being the president, which is fine. Polish people elected him, not the Russians. Polish president-elect is listed as wanted by Russia on criminal charges related to his role in the destruction of Soviet-era monuments in the country, according to the Russian Interim Ministry's public database. Now, you see, I am for nationalists. I am for patriots. I think as any other ideology pushed to an extreme or acted upon in the wrong way could end to massacres. Even the Christians committed a lot of them in the name of, misguided interpretation of their, book. So here we have this guy who I think is misguided in destroying Soviet war memorials, because after all, the Soviets, yes, invaded you, but you should also destroy anything that has to do with Great Britain. Anything. Why am I saying that? Remember, the Great Britain declared war to the Germans when the Soviets invaded you. So how about fuck off for a little bit? So you should also demolish the other guys, because they sold you. The Brits sold Poland to the Soviets. After the Second World War. So Great Britain entered the war only against one aggressor, which was Germany, not to the other aggressor called Soviet Union. Then after the war, the ones that were the aggressors took all Poland given by your friends that fought against only one enemy, not the other one, and now you destroy Soviet Union's memorials. You have nothing to do with I want him to say anything about the Brits. Destroy everything what the Brits had over there, anything. Why? For obvious reasons. You sold Poland out. Since 1945 to 1990, you sold it out. And it was bad. Generations of people, human beings. Any repercussions? No. Any consequences? No. So that's why I think he's just selective justice. And why is he doing this? For the same reason why he supports Ukraine. For the same reason why he picks and chooses when he should look in other areas. Remember, you don't look at the pistol when you have a criminal. You know what I mean? The criminal mind with a pistol will commit something. A good person with a pistol would not commit anything wrong. So the same here. A knife could be used at stabbing or, I don't know, cutting bread. The same here with this guy. He's looking at Soviet Union when actually it's the Brits. What does he know? So it might, remember, Sikorsky is still, as of now, and will be, the foreign minister of Poland. He's a Brit agent. I think he is. And Duda is gone. What's his name? Tusk is just a baboon again on the payroll of Brussels. That's what it is. So Poland is an owned country, like Romania. And saying that, we can go to Romania in a minute. In the meantime, we go to the Serbs. This is according to New Voice of Ukraine. Serbian President Vučić claims attempted coup involved state institutions. If the army, state institution, wants something, it's ordered something, this guy is gone. Or this guy stays. This is the institution. So let's see what Mr. Vučić claimed. There were some mass rallies in Serbia, and they always say this is because of the youth or the children, or a good cause. They rally or they demonstrate on a good cause, but then actually that's not for that. That is what the media gives you. Oh, for some massacre occurred, I don't know, like 25 years ago, we're gonna go outside and we're going to demonstrate. And actually that turns into something else. Oh, the government and all that. Why? There's a lot of money, a lot of interest involved in these things. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić claimed on June 3rd that the country recently faced, and I'm quoting, a well-organized attempt at a coup, allegedly involving all state institutions, from elementary and secondary schools to universities, attempts in the healthcare system, and every power facility on which life in Serbia depends, and let's not even mention the police. Vučić said, disturbing details will emerge when you see who was steering things up and who they were negotiating with. Vučić also claimed the operation relied on external funding, NGOs and states probably, political advice and guidance, though he did not specify which foreign sources were allegedly involved. On March 15th, large-scale anti-government protests took place in Serbia capital, Belgrade. Vučić said 56 people were injured in clashes during the demonstrations. Estimate of protest size varied. Serbian government bodies reported between 88,000 and 107,000 participants, while the independent organization Public Assembly Archive put a number between 270,000 to 325,000. So this is what it was then, but it was another, they don't mention that here, it was not on March, it was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, there were big mass demonstrations in Belgrade, and not only. So someone wants to interfere in the, domestic issues of Serbia. You got them right about it. And then we go to these imbeciles right here. The last for the best, right? New Voice. Romania will continue to support Ukraine. Nicuşor Dan. This is unbelievable. Yeah. Oh, is this the German or the Roman salute? Which one is it? Nicuşor Dan. So Nicuşor Dan, this guy, I saw a video with him meeting Zelensky. Go and watch it. I live enough so I can talk. All right? I'm not 20, I'm not 80, but I'm not going to wait to get 80 maybe in order to be allowed to talk using my experience. You can tell when you look at a person, at his body language, who's going to give you about 80% of the clues of who that person is. Look at this Nicuşor. My friends from Romania, do you remember Ladislav Bölni? Yeah, the Hungarian native, how do I call it, ethnic Hungarian, Romanian. You remember Bölni? Okay, this guy is a footballer, very good football player, and in the 70s, 80s, and a little bit of 90s. What did he do? He was different than the Romanian baboons when he was on the television. When these Romanians from Dâmbovița were trying to attack him and being like they are, like this imbecile right here. He would talk calmly, slower. He was barely speaking Romanian. I mean, he was making mistakes like I do right here, but he was calm, and he was not getting engaged in this kind of baboons talk. You could see by his presence, by his talking, that he is very relaxed, and he is who he is. He's not a servant. He didn't have the servant mentality, which the other guys hated, because you have to have a price tag, and he did not have a price tag. He, to me, Romanians know him. He had a certain kind of, he respected himself. Maybe because he didn't like Romanians, I would say. So he said, I'm going to show these baboons how to behave. I'm guessing. I don't know if that's true or not. So when I saw this Nicuşor Dan with Zelensky at the table and shaking hands with him, this is a fucking clown. I don't want my father to act like that. I know if my father would have acted like that, I would say he's a fucking weasel. What is this baboon doing? I would be embarrassed to get around my father. But now, I look this guy, he represents you. He's like I don't know, my friends, cizelează-te, my friends. Get a little bit more refined. Have people to teach you to behave in public. Decent, or at least not that you represent a country, a people. Your body language tells me that all your life you must have been like this. A clown. Yeah, that's what I said. When I get arrested, when I get to Romania, I don't give a fuck. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So, the support for Ukraine will continue. Is it in our interest? Romania's interest? And you say yes. Okay, well. I don't even want to say that, but I will say it. When Nicuşor Dan will receive the order to strike Russian drones, which is already there, or to do something to Russia, and Russia will threaten you, and you're going to play the victim, remember this. You didn't have to support Ukraine. By the way, I want to hear Nicuşor Dan wanting back the Romanian territories given to Ukraine. I want to hear him say that. He will never say that. Why? Because he's not fighting or being in office for the Romanians' interests. I think he's just this, and that's it. That's it. Well, good job. Some people like it. Some people like it, obviously, and good for you. I hope that Oreshnik will meet you one day to talk to you like close. But Oreshnik is not going to do that because the Russians are, they have self-control. Well, these guys are poking the bear. And the Russians maybe one day will focus towards you, and you're going to say, well, we are the victims. You're not the victims. You should have stayed out of this, but you didn't. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.